work with it a little bit. Here's my mounting screws that came with it. See, you don't give them very long. They're only 5/8 of an inch or so. And sometimes sheetrock, sometimes they'll overlap it on the box, or maybe they didn't install the box just right, and your screw has to go in about a 1/2 inch or so before it hits the box. Well, at that point, if you got any sheetrock screws, you can go to the store and get some longer ones like that. But if you have any sheetrock screws, let's see if I think I got something in my nail bag here. If I could pull one out. Here's one. This one's like 1 5/8 long, or you can get them 1 1/4 long, and this one happens to be coarse threads. This will work for a mounting screw. If this one's not long enough, you can get some sheetrock screws, and I usually carry those because I never know when I'm going to need them. I usually got 1 1/4, 1 5/8, 2 inch, 2 1/2, and 3 inch. I use those a lot, but these mounting screws, luckily, are long enough. Most of the time they are. But if you find it stripping or something, or your threads are kind of screwed up, try your sheetrock screw, the coarse threaded sheetrock screws, and they'll go into the plastic box a little bit, and they'll grab on. Sometimes when these won't, if you've got an older, tired box, let's say. Okay. What I like to do is make these straight. It's my pet peeve. Is I want them nice and straight. And this box, I could tell, was crooked because I got more gap at the bottom where that slot is. And I'm going to take my tape measure and measure over from the door. Okay, see, I got 4 3/4 at the bottom and 4 3/4 at the top. Okay, that looks pretty good. Sometimes you'd be amazed. What? Joe, I can eyeball, anybody can eyeball that. Well, you'd be surprised. Sometimes you get something, you walk away from it, and then you look back and you think, that cover plate's crooked. It doesn't take much to get a cover plate crooked. Okay. Now, I'm going to hold that on there. Everything looks like it's lined up nicely. This back on there. Hold your mouth just right to get those in, because the screw is so small in there. And sometimes you might think it needs to go right there, but this has a little bit of a slop to it. And sometimes you need that because it might not go in perfectly straight. Okay. I'm looking at that. This edge is slightly not really sticking out, but I'm going to see if I can't tighten it just a hair. See, it's such a flat plate on here, and if the sheetrock is slightly off or something, it could throw that off at a little bit of an angle. Let's say I'm just going to tighten that up a little bit. Not a whole lot. Do the best I can. That looks better. Okay. Just don't over tighten these. You see, if you over tighten these, there's not much room right there, and it easily can crack right there, over here, up there. Just never know where it's gonna crack. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay. Well, I've spent extra time on this because I was wanting to get you all the information possible so that you can know that you can do this yourself. Okay? If you didn't measure that before, you can measure it now. Looks pretty good. If you're slightly off, and if you can live with it, fine. If not, and it's way off, and you think, oh my God, my gosh, I should have checked that a little bit more. Undo these screws, slightly move it over one way or another. Top left, bottom right over, bottom left, top right, whatever. You know, whatever you have to do, you can adjust it this way, you can adjust it that way, you can push the whole thing over. Lots of things you can do on that, okay? All right, so I'm going to turn the power back on and we'll see what we got. Okay, we have light. We have light. Okay, now I'm going to press the slide down. Let's see if this dims, and sure enough it dims. See there? Look at that. Looks like I need to get up there and clean that too. I've got, you can't really see it, but I can see all kinds of little bugs in there. So I'm going to end up doing that and clean out the inside of that too. And put that back up in there just to make it look all nice for being done. Okay? So there you go. With this, if I turn this my construction light off, and let's see, close this door, kind of keep that closed, and imagine this was at nighttime. Well, I want it bright, I can have it bright. If I want it dim, see, I can have it nice and dim in here. See, I can do something like that, and that'll be nice, calming. Put some meditation music on in here and all that kind of stuff. This is going to be nice. Mommy's going to like that. Now see, what am I going to talk about next time? I'm not sure, but one of these times I've got to install. Mommy says, oh, this would be really nice in here, but with the door closed, I don't have the air conditioning is outside. There's no air conditioning register in this room or anything. And I says, well, is there a plug in here? Let's look around and see if there's any plugs on the wall. We look over here. Nope, there's no plugs on the wall. There's no plug. Ooh, there's no plug on this wall. There's nothing. I looked over here, there's nothing. Because she was mentioning, man, if I had a plug in here, I could put a very small oscillating fan in here, like, you know, one that's almost as small as one of those little battery operated ones. The heads aren't very big of the entire fan. Maybe the whole fan is about that big of a blade, and they're very quiet. They got a couple speeds. And Mommy was saying, if I had a plug in here, that would be perfect. I'm like, how am I going to put a plug in here? Do you have any ideas? Well, that's going to be my next one of my upcoming videos on what to do. I looked over here, and ideally it'd be nice to have it on this wall, or even this wall over here. Okay, now here's a couple options for you. Look at this. Here's a plug right here. That's the same wall. If there was no plug, and if I only had a light switch, guess what? I could take power off of there, fish it down the wall, put a cut-in box in on the other side, and put an electrical outlet. Or I could take, because there's a plug here, I could take this one out, take the box out, fish a wire in there, put a cut-in box in on the other side. I may not even have to cut this box out. Usually I take the boxes out so I got enough room, and I can fish my wire wherever I want it, and then install a cut-in box, put the plug back in, all that kind of stuff. But see, I might be able to just fish the wire right through the box, pulling that plug out. So there's an option right there of putting it right on this wall. But then it's like, where am I going to put the fan? We'd have to plug it in. I guess I could move those weights over. We could set the fan right there in the corner and turn it on. Or she can pull it out right here and she could face it this way. Or what other option? In fact, I didn't even think about that option before I started making this video. Here's a plug here. See? And on this one here, I could put a cut-in box on the other side of the wall, and I could have a plug on this wall. And see, I know the stud. Well, I'm not sure where the stud is. Usually I can knock on the wall. And I think the stud's right here. See, this area is hollow probably to the next stud. Okay. So the studs usually are 16 inches apart. There's probably one here, and there's probably one over in here somewhere. So if I didn't want the plug exactly back to back from this one on over, I would slide it over on the other side of the wall, or I could move it way over, you know, close to this other stud and fish the wire from here through the wall over there and have it come out. So I could have it like 3 feet off of this door over that way, or 4 feet. And then if I do that, then she'd have to plug the fan in and then have the fan there, and the fan's going to be fairly close to her over there. Maybe she wants it there, or not. Maybe the best bet is put the plug over here. Might end up putting the plug there, but I'll talk to Momi first. We could run the cord over there, and we could set the fan right there and face it this way, and so it's out of the way, out of the walking area here. Or she can plug the fan in there, and then she can unplug it, and then she can put it down here somewhere, you know, with her shoes or something, or back in there. We could just put the fan over here, over there in the corner, something like that. So I've got some options. So I'll talk to Momi first, and then trust me, before I put the cut-in box in this room, wherever it ends up going, I'll make a video of it, and you can see exactly how to do it yourself. Okay? Just because you don't have a plug somewhere, is it possible to install one? Yes. Think about it and do it. Well, that's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more videos.